traditionalists who still cling tenaciously to their predilection for swarming masses of foot soldiers. Writing a few months later, another self-styled seer, an infantry officer no less, agreed that the days of the ground arms are ending. Warfare has changed. The scientists have taken over strategy, and the military men have got to understand this sooner or later. The days of battles as we know them and have fought them are gone forever. I must risk posing an acerbic, or at least uncomfortable, question. How did those prognoses work out? The answer is obvious. They could not have been more wrong if they had said elephants fly better than birds. Predictions regarding the demise of the foot soldier are always wrong because they are based on theory, not actual events. There's an old saying that rules are meant to be broken. Well, I would argue that theories are meant to be debunked, especially in relation to warfare. As a historian, I am, quite frankly, not interested in the theoretical world of jargon-packed war college papers, geopolitical treatises, and predictions about next war wonder weapons or scenarios. Instead, I am interested in finding out what actually happened, understanding why it happened that way, and perhaps coming to some kind of conclusion on what this might bode for the future. This book, then, is about realities of the modern battlefield, not theories about it. On the basis of historical study, I can say this with absolute certainty. From World War II through the present, American ground combat soldiers, especially infantrymen, have been the lead actors in nearly every American war, at the very time when new weapons and technology were supposed to make them obsolete. Thus, even in modern war, more is usually less. Since World War II, no one has, thankfully, ever used nuclear weapons. Instead, nukes settled into a useful role as a terrifying deterrent, assuring potential antagonists mutual destruction if they were ever actually employed. Their existence probably dissuaded the Cold War superpowers from making all-out war on each other. Both the Soviets and the Americans understood the pointlessness and the horrible consequences for humanity of nuclear war. The same has largely been true for every other nuclear power. Of course, nuclear-equipped, fanatical, extra-national terrorists would probably have no such compunctions. Saddam Hussein notwithstanding, chemical and biological weapons have also largely been absent from the modern battlefield. I am not arguing that this absence places them beneath consideration. I am simply saying that their existence does not negate the infantrymen's vital importance. The same is true for the other techno-rich weapons I listed above. The armadas of bombers, ships, subs, missiles, and aerial drones, in spite of their staggering array of ordnance and important though they are, have still never yet replaced the ground soldier as the primary agent of warfare. From the invasion beaches of Guam in 1944 to sweaty patrols in 21st century Iraqi heat, the guy with boots on the ground and a weapon in his hand almost always takes the lead in carrying out the war aims of Washington policymakers, not to mention determining their success or failure. This is the pattern of recent history. The American love affair with techno-war. Since the beginning of World War II, no group of people or nation-state has invested more money, energy, and sheer hope in technology as a war winner than the United States. The belief that technology and machines can win wars of their own accord was prevalent as long ago as World War II, and it still persists, arguably in even stronger form, in the 21st century. In 1947, S.L.A. Marshall, the noted combat historian, wrote, "So strong was the influence of the machine upon our thinking, both inside and outside the military establishment, that the infantry became relatively the most slighted of branches." The country paid a high price in blood and treasure for this oversight in World War II, but very little changed in subsequent decades. In 2006, another erudite military analyst, Ralph Peters, wrote something eerily similar to Marshall's passage. Too many of our military and civilian leaders remain captivated by the notion that machines can replace human beings on the battlefield. They cannot face reality, wars of flesh, faith, and cities. Marshall and Peters both understood that flesh and blood human beings win wars. Machines and technology only assist them. Shrinking from the horrifying reality of war's ugly face, more on that later, Americans have a tendency to think of war as just another problem that can be addressed.